stronger. I mean, we did all the Zoom and all that, but he's very academic oriented as well as swimming. So I think there was a lot of stress to be at every practice and be on time and early and late and get your homework done and everything. And I think it really allowed him a different way, and he's come back confident, strong. So I think that we need to ask ourselves some questions, and I don't know what those answers are, but I think that we need to look back and say, maybe some of this was really a good thing. And maybe it'll teach us that there's a different way to go about and having success. And to answer your question about like 5 in a lane and trying to do distance, I am not the most creative person, so I steal from everybody. Thank you, people on this call. But I've got to figure that out because that's something that's kind of gnawing at me right now. So.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in on that thought there?
Yes,
so I heard a couple of really cool things. I'm sorry, Megan, did you have something you wanted to share?
Just a little bit. I think the change of perspective and the gratitude for what we get to do. You know, I'm not being forced to swim. Swimming isn't a burden. Swimming is a gift. And I think that maybe that shift really got nailed down with our kids. And this is an opportunity that I have. And maybe I don't want to do it the same way, or maybe I can't do it the same way that I did it, but I still have opportunity to do this and enjoy it and have a really rich experience. So I think it's kind of been an experiment in that too.
Yeah, I happen to agree. I wrote down at the same time, I wrote level of appreciation probably just went up, right? So we all appreciate being with each other a lot more when we don't get to be with each other, right? And I can't wait to get back together with all of my coaching friends too, and go for a walk or a run at a clinic or whatever it is, and talk about what we're talking about, And the other thing, I think that we're always in a rush to results. We're such a results-oriented society, and our sport is a results-driven, time-driven kind of thing, and so we're always in a rush to results. And I think this allowed us to not be in such a rush to results, but instead, to develop relationships, understand the value of what we do with young people. And then when they come, and you just say, Kathy, maybe the kids are, because they're coming back excited and appreciative, that in and of itself lends to a better practice, because they're going to give a little bit better effort. They're going to learn a little bit better. But I told a couple of parents that asked me, as they said, well, how bad do you think this is going to be for our kids? And I said, well, those kids who are doing great strokes might have a little bit of trouble getting back into it, because we might have lost a little bit of great strokes, and we got to get that back. But those kids that weren't doing great strokes, this might be the best thing for them. Let's get them off of those bad strokes for a while and let them retool that stroke, and we'll start fresh again. So there's some value there too. Anyway, so our next thing that we talked about discussing today was how do you build confidence in a young person, 11 to 14? There's the big ones, the tall ones, the ones who seem to come with everything to the pool for you, right? And then there's the ones who just seem like they always come to the pool, and they're the ones who just they're first in and last out kind of kid, and we love those kinds of kids. Coaches love those children, right? And so we appreciate that first in, last out child, and that hard worker who doesn't maybe have all of the gifts that are given to some others. But how do you develop the confidence of the group as a whole, and just some ideas that you guys can think of that you use to help develop the confidence of the group?
Nobody wants to answer.
You want to jump in there?
I'll go first. I think developing confidence, I think, has to do with really rooting a growth mindset. And to me, that means that confidence comes from the fact that I know that I can learn. So it's not where I am now. It's that I know I can get to another place, and that in order to swim faster, I need to learn certain skills or learn a different way of doing things. But if you can learn, then you have hope and you have possibilities. So for me, it comes down to, do I trust myself to walk through a process or march through a process and find something different on the other side that's not what I'm doing now, because what I'm doing now maybe isn't working. But I know that I can learn, and I know that I can get to a different place. And I think rooting there allows for confidence, because it doesn't matter what my current outcome is. It matters what I'm working on, and I know that I can work on that. I think there's room for a bit of a gender conversation in this. A bell curve is a bell curve, so everybody's lying, everywhere on the spectrum. But it seems like little boys have confidence that isn't necessarily rooted in content. And, little girls tend to overroot their content, and they only have confidence if they blow the top off the content. And like I said, that those are blanket statements. There's a bell curve for boys and girls, but it sometimes blows my mind just how confident boys can be versus girls. We were at the national camp a couple years ago, and that I got the opportunity to be at the boys camp and the girls camp, and it seemed like on the surface, all of the boys thought they were the best person there. And all of the girls, or the majority of the girls, thought that somebody dropped out and that's how they got their slot. And that really landed with me. So in terms of developing confidence, some kids don't need to develop confidence. They come fully equipped with confidence. Now, did they earn that? Maybe not necessarily so. So for them, maybe it's developing content so they can maintain their confidence, because you don't want them to lose that. You want them to be alive and vibrant and enthusiastic, but it's got to be rooted in something.
Yeah, thank you, Megan. That's great.
Yeah.
Sherwood?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Sherwood.
Oh, no, I didn't say anything. You want to finish? I thought somebody was talking there. No? Okay. I know last year I called Kathy about a group of 13 girls that I had. It was a year or two ago. And it is just so negative, and 13, 14 girls can be pretty mean to each other. So Kathy gave me some very good advice, and things have gotten a lot better. So I think, what's my point? Creating that sort of that positive team environment, and it's a supportive environment, as opposed to 13, 14 girls sort of going at each other. I think that's critical. Me showing up on deck, being the same every day. I'm consistent. I'm smiling. Thank you as I take their temperature. Saying something nice, as they walk into the pool. I wasn't always like that. Pretty negative younger coach, out to do stuff. Much more positive now in my older years. So just, I'm blessed to be here. I have that kind of attitude. It's so nice to have you here. So starting off with that positive attitude, just that team attitude, that it's a can do. There really isn't failure. You fail, you learn. You reset and you move forward and make the changes that you need to make. Speaking greatness all the time. Now, there is a negative side to that, because some girls don't like that. They don't want to be told the kind of potential that they have, because then that puts pressure on them. So I gotta sort of think sometimes, not all girls like that, but I think of a different way to say it. Very goal oriented, like and opportune times, like as swim meet. Had a girl go 52 this weekend, and you did exactly what you needed to do, and it's time to reset right now. And a little bit more time, a little faster, a little stronger, do this and this. So those times, those opportune times, to set goals and build confidence. When they succeed, I definitely want to amplify that. Praise. These are the things that you did really, really well. And if they don't, like I said, you don't fail. You learn and you grow. Team goals. So we'll sit. We haven't done it this year. We need to, maybe on a Zoom call, but set up team goals and let them have input. I think that sort of takes pressure off of them. They're part of a team on a mission. These are our team goals. This is what we want to do. And then individual goals from there that are achievable. So.
Awesome. Thank you. And Jen?
Sorry. Jeez.
Both Megan and Sherwood really hit on something there as far as with confidence in your gender and the differences that you see. And, you can have a group that can be very male driven. You can have a group that can be very female driven. And you just have to be so mindful of that and how you're going to blend that into your whole group as far as the confidence level. And I can think over the years, it seems I have been blessed to have many more male driven groups. So as you know, the excitement level, what they want, the confidence level, the need to see results, or to have action, it has been more prevalent in my years of coaching than it has been with female groups. And it's that. So just in listening, that's real interesting to hear that. And I find it interesting right now that I'm probably with a female-driven group for the first time. So maybe for me, in seeing that in what's going on and things being slowed down, I see it's given the girls maybe that confidence that they can handle things as we move along, which is building their confidence at a young age, where kind of they can see some milestones happening and they're being able to handle it. They understand what's happening, the way it's being delivered. One thing I really do, I try to make sure that I do a lot of is talking to the group every day. In the beginning of practice, at the end of practice, I really like to end every practice with a little bit of I don't want to say a group chat, but at least I make sure I allow at least 2 or 3 minutes of my comments, where we kind of end it together so that we kind of understand what happened, so that, they hear from me to end practice, and making sure that it's, the praise in public and, trying to handle maybe some things individually behind the scenes, with the group. So, goal setting, again, race strategy through the year, test sets, those things is also as far as your confidence in your group.
Thank you, Jen. Coach Kathy?
Okay. One of the things that we were getting ready to do before they opened back up and we were able to get back in the water, so it kind of fell by the wayside. But we're fortunate here to have a sports psychologist who actually used to swim at MAC, Dr. Joe Perry. And gonna have a Zoom call with Megan and Joe tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. But she had a series of little snippet of quick Zoom meetings that she was going to do with the kids on different areas of mindset, and I was really excited. And then that's sort of fallen by the wayside, but hopefully we can bring that back. And I think that's going to be huge. And she swam for some MAC. She swam, great student, obviously. Now she's a sports psychologist, and, just that she's got the swimming connection is going to be huge for us. So if you can find that in your community, I think that would be awesome. I think every day trying to create opportunities for the swimmers to be successful and therefore help build on their confidence by little wins. And I've had swimmers who train great and compete not so good. And so I've tried to find times where they are having a great set and then put them up on the block for a get out swim, and they don't have time to think, and they can just light it up and do a best time. And that's a confidence builder. Again, I think focusing on the process and not the outcome. And they need to focus on each step to get there, not like the big ladder from, the floor to the sky. Praising their effort more than their outcome. Teaching them to control what they can control. Teaching them that they need to focus on oneself and not what other people around them are doing. And then again, learning that failure is part of growth and that you believe in them, and trying to get them to think in positive terms so that if they have negative thoughts, and this is something that Dr. Perry's really good at, teaching them how to turn that negative thought into a positive, and setting high standards and not compromising. And I think one of the things that I feel is important is you want them to leave the pool after practice the same way you want to see them when they come into practice. So excited, you want them leaving excited, and you want them coming back excited. So all that, kind of where I am.
Well, taking notes, of course, and loving every second of it. And it's just an amazing thing. But thank you all for this information. I'm going to sort of go back through confidence just very quickly here and praise in public, use goal setting, Coach Jen, build confidence through small meetings on a regular basis. Lead well by the way the actions and how you the confidence. I think coaches give athletes confidence, and I think Jen, I can see you giving an athlete confidence in the way you talk to them, and a growth over the season, understanding that that there's confidence. The growth of their confidence is seasonal, right? And so we want them to build confidence as the season goes on. Coach Sherwood's making sure that we create a positive, supportive environment. How important is that, right? So, the environment that they walk into, being consistent as a coach, welcoming, making everybody feel important. And he said that also when he was training them, that he made sure that everybody felt like he was there, that they knew he was there and he was watching them on a regular basis. She talks about what does excellence look like, or what does greatness, I think was your words there, Coach Sherwood. What does greatness look like, and teaching what it looks like, and that it is a moving target. And it's okay to fail, but we're going to shoot for greatness. That's a standard of ours, and allowing some of them need to reset goals quickly. Some need to, have a party before they reset a goal, and have a birthday party and reset a goal. But some of them need to reset goals quickly, and that's if whatever they need to do, we're going to meet them where they are. Praise and team goals are critical, and the mission for the group. I've always believed in the mission for the group, and I thought if you create a theme, and that's one of the things that I sort of did throughout my lifetime, and it always seemed like when I had a theme for my team for the season, and we created fun around the team, that we did better. And I'm like, well, what was my problem? Why didn't I do that every year? It just seemed like the years that we chose to create a theme around the season, we did really well, and kids thrived because then it's not about them, it's about the team, and they're doing it for others, and they're doing it for the love of their friends, and they're standing up, for the team vision, not just their own. Coach Megan said, build a growth mindset. I've always believed that everybody should read Carol Dweck's book, Growth Mindset, at least twice. Every athlete, coach, and parent, right? And who is the person, Angela or something, that did the grit video, Megan?
Angela Duckworth.
Angela Duckworth, an amazing video. So coaches, if you're out there and you haven't watched, Google Angela Duckworth and watch the 6-minute. There's a lot of versions of it, but there's a 6-minute version that every athlete that's this age and younger should be watching about grit. What is grit, right? And then the differences between boys and girls, and confidence, and these knucklehead boys walking in the pool, and their stuff is just amazing, right? And some of the girls don't feel like necessarily the same as some of these knucklehead boys do, but you've got to watch that and make sure that one group doesn't take over the other group, and that each group feels really special and important, and it's easy to let one group sort of dominate, right? And because they're more talkative or more physical, whatever it is. But the inner, I put down the inner and the outer confidence too. There's one thing to see a young boy that looks like they're really confident and they're just being a goofball, and it looks confident, but in reality, deep inside, they still need us to develop their confidence too. And that's that inner confidence that really makes the difference, right? And then I think Coach Kathy mentioned that they have a sports psychologist. What a cool thing to have that, right? And I worked at universities most of my life, and I was really fortunate, but I could tell you, even all sports psychologists need to be better too, just like we as coaches need to be better. Not all sports psychologists come as a sports psychologist out of the box, right? So we have to filter that. Find small wins. I love that. I love finding small wins, and that was something Kathy mentioned. You look for the good, and you find ways for kids to experience winning at a small level. And then slowly they start feeling good about it. Focus on the process, not the outcome. And so it's easy for us to focus on the result of our time, and kids in particular, right? They got their time, and that's it, and they think if they don't get their time, they're a failure. In reality, if you succeeded in the process and you did everything well, and then you were a winner that season. Control what you can control. try to turn a negative thought into a positive thought. And how do you do that, right? And try to let kids leave the pool happy. I've always said a happy team is a winning team. Get happy, right? So we got to find happiness, and it starts with us as leaders. But man, what a great group of life lessons you guys have shared with the world today, and coaching. And so let me just go through each of you. Maybe you can sort of add one or two small, nuggets that you think, man, I would have liked to have shared this, or I'd like to share this still, something that sort of pops up in your mind that you think you'd like to share with the audience on today's ASCA Live. Who'd like to start that? Go right ahead.
Well, I'll go first because I just want to compliment Sherwood and Jennifer and Kathy. It's interesting. They are so good at what they do, and then being able to articulate decades of knowledge and real-time relationships and real-time deck management with their kids is fascinating for me. I mean, decades, hundreds and hundreds of parents and kids, and the amount of knowledge we have in this with these three right now. I mean, this could be a whole shelf on my bookshelf. Would be interviews with Sherwood, Jennifer, and Kathy. And so hearing them take a vast amount of coaching information and make it simple, let's focus on this, I think is hugely beneficial for anybody that got to be part of this today.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you. Sweet.
I think
Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, I think one thing, thank you, Megan, and I really appreciate everybody that's on this call. I've learned a lot today. You've reminded me of things that maybe I did and should do again that I'd forgotten about, which is awesome. Particularly if you're a young coach, I would find a mentor. And the cool thing about our profession is that coaches like to share what they do, and they'll be there for anybody. And that's something I've learned through ASCA from, like 1979 on, and that coaches are so willing to share. So find a mentor and don't be afraid to ask questions. And don't be afraid to share, even if you are a young coach, because we have young coaches on our staff that I learn from every day. So that's my last little tidbit.
Thank you, Kathy.
I'll add two things. And Kathy, you kind of touched on with young coaches. Get involved. Get involved. I don't, anything. I mean, volunteer. Listen to, I don't know, just get involved. Get involved in your LSC. Get involved in doing a camp. I'll tell you, I have been so fortunate in everything that I have had the honor and the opportunity to do. But I'm going to tell you, I've always put myself out there. And that was probably the best thing the coach that I've worked with since I started coaching told me. He's like, you got to put yourself out there. You've got to volunteer. Yes, I spend a lot of hours volunteering, but what I have gotten back, what it has done, the people I've met, the opportunity, get involved. You will never be disappointed in your involvement. I just can't say enough about that, about the involvement.
Yeah, thank you. So true, Jen.
Oh, good stuff. I'm learning so much. My turn. I wrote down 4 things. So I became a head coach a couple times. I wasn't very good. I just wasn't very good. I'm not somebody who can take all the things that come with running a team and the complaints and everything. That's not my talent. So I decided long ago that I was going to be the best age group coach I could possibly be. And all the things that you all said as far as mentors and everything. But being an age group coach, it's a good career. And if you're good at it, stay with it. Don't try to be something you're not.
I love it.
Stay for a while and see what you can build. I mean, if you stick around and you keep the staff intact, how important is that? You're going to really build something. So stick around. Don't just like, oh, that's better over there. It's better over there. Nah, build something where you're at. If you don't lead, someone who will. So you got to make sure you lead, and that includes the parents. And you've got to have parent meetings. You have to. We just had a Zoom last week. I think I was nervous for 2 days, but focus on my content, do what I tell the kids. I was fine. And it was funny because on a Zoom, nobody said a thing, and I said, God, my mic bombing. So I had a few emails. His parents are terrible. They didn't say anything. And they said I did a really good job. So I think I did a really good job. But at any rate, if you don't lead, somebody else will, and that's not good on any aspect. One more thing on here. There's always another race, particularly with girls. We talked about girls before. They think you're mad at them. They bombed or something like that. That is so hard to make up. If you do that, and guys too, there's always another race. Just learn and grow, right? Learn and grow. I see coaches lose it and get all mad. That's just do that. That would be my advice to young coaches. Always another race.
That's right. That's right. It's just swimming, right?
That's all it is.
Yeah. So I had a 6'6" boy come over to me once on the pool deck, and he was disappointed because he had just dropped under 20, just barely. His first time to go under 20 went 19.98 or something like that. And the boy that he trains with went faster than him, went 19.5, and he swears he worked harder than him and he's more deserving than him. And why is this? He goes 19.5 and I work so hard, and so on and so forth. And I turned to him and I said, as I'm looking up to the 6'6" boy, I'm like, things just happen sometimes just like that, but it's just swimming, and we had a little laugh together. And there, at the end of the day, there's the values that young people get from the experience, the life experiences that they have with you, and the things that you guys have just shared over the last hour about how you connect with young people and help drive performance, but mostly help drive behavior that leads to performance, right? And you're teaching about changing the child's thinking, which changes their behaviors and then changes their results. And so it all starts with the way you address people and make them feel special. And man, coaches out there, I hope you've enjoyed the day as much as I have, because it's been amazing to be with Coach Sherwood, Coach Megan, Coach Jennifer, and Coach Kathy, who are just amazing, experienced coaches and fantastic with young people. And wouldn't you love to have all children have the kind of experiences that you guys are providing young people? So coaches, I would say today, thank you so much for your time and your gifts to the world of swimming. And keep doing it, and we're going to miss not being able to see each of you. But until the next time, have a wonderful Christmas holiday, and look forward to talking to you all again privately soon.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.